No. There it is. Live TV. Damn it. I can't catch a break. Guys, thanks for joining me on Bob K6UDA, and this is Lunch and Ham Radio. Welcome to the big show, guys, where we're gonna have lunch and hang out. And hey, look at that. A new camera, one that doesn't make me look all crappy and red. So we're gonna play with that. And now the other crappier camera is camera number 3, which is back over here, which is now kind of one of these background cameras. And then hey, the big agenda and everything else that we got here. Let's go back to camera number 2. Man, I am really loving camera number 2. And let's see, we have with us today a buddy from the old country, California. This is Craig, KM6LYW, and Craig does some very incredible stuff with APRS and digital modes. And I just, you know what? I'm just going to get him in here. Let's add Craig in there. Oh, you're on the, you're kind of, yeah, you gotta do that. Craig, how you doing?
Hey, greetings from the Republic, Bob. It's good to see you in Idaho. We sure miss you here. Bob and I were in the same club, right? So
yes,
so we have history.
Yeah, we do. We used to spend many a field day together, hanging out, doing stuff, club meetings, all that good stuff. Let's see. Bob has an agenda coming from Sean here. Let me get that up on the screen. Yes, I have an agenda. Agenda is it's let's see. Can I do this? Yep. God, that switcher is slow today. This is Agenda 21. Let's go back to camera 2. Maybe. I'm going to see if it goes back. Oh, it didn't do it. Anyway, I'll put Craig up in the wow. That thing is just slow. That the switcher today, my switcher guy, my Mr. Snurdly, he just is not on top of it. So Craig, let me just introduce you as the idiot savant of the APRS world. How's that for an introduction?
I like it. I'll take it.
Well, okay. So tell everybody about yourself. Who are you? What do you do?
Fair enough, Bob. So my name is Craig Lamparter, KM6LYW Radio on YouTube, if you want to check the channel. And by day, I'm a Linux system software engineer. So Linux stuff all day. And then in my off hours, I'm an operator just like all of you. When there's some overlap, some exciting things start to happen. We get lots of cool Linux, ham radio, data, digital modes, new devices being built. So it's a kind of a combination of Linux system software engineering and ham radio. That's pretty much what fills my time, Bob.
Wow, that's quite a bit. That is quite a bit of stuff that you're doing. Let's see. So I understand that you are fairly involved with the APRS thing. Tell us about what APRS is, what it does, how it can benefit hams, and how we can use it.
So APRS is a global network of ham radios that use data, and they use the same modem sounds that you had in the 80s, right? When you connect to AOL or something. Most of the radios have these modems in them. This Yaesu, for example, this FT1, FT2, Bob, you've got the 3 and 5 there. The Kenwoods have it. The mobile units have it from Yaesu and Kenwood. And a lot of people think that APRS, which stands for Advanced Packet Reporting System, is just a way for you to send a beacon out and show up on a map somewhere. And it's so much more than that. APRS is really a kind of an subset of the AX.25 network protocol, but the implementation here on the Earth is global. I mean, it's just about everywhere. You can use an APRS-enabled radio all over the world. In fact, I do a lot of traveling. And not only was I able to send my position using my HT in the Old Town Square in Prague, in the Czech Republic, I was able to send an SMS message to my wife using this exact radio right here, and she was able to reply. So APRS is a network, data network. It's not just a position reporting system. I think a lot of people make that assumption. So you can do so much more. And, it's probably 25, 30 years old, and by itself, it's not that exciting. Yeah, you can send messages to radios next to you. Then we got the internet. Well, now we can tunnel messages from one radio on one side of the world to a radio on the other side of the world, and the endpoints would both be over RF. But I think what a lot of people are missing is we've got this physical network, APRS, and it's connected to the internet, and we're not leveraging that. It doesn't depend on the internet, but the internet is a real supplement for that. So I'd like to reimagine APRS and use these radios to get internet types of services. Like when someone picks up their cell phone, what are they doing most of the time, right? They're sending text messages, they're sending email, and checking the weather. I guarantee you can do all three things using an APRS-enabled radio, using the hardware you already have. In fact, we could even demonstrate it here. And in fact, I'm building hardware, infrastructure, and services. We can actually do things like tweet from a radio like this. We're not advertising it just yet, but our development teams are working on that. In fact, a lot of what we've done has actually got the attention of Bob Reninga, the actual creator of APRS himself. So we've had some email exchanges with Bob, great guy, just fantastic community behind the APRS global network of amateur radios. Bob.
Wow. Hang on, let's get the switcher going. God, Mr. Snerdley, get on the mark there, my friend. Let's see. That just sounds so very cool. Let me see if I can't get both of us in the yeah, there we go. Now I got both of us in the scene. Wow, I am just loving. Okay, I gotta just say, I added my old Sony RX100 now as a webcam. This is the Mark IV, and this camera is so crispy. I am loving this thing. It's next week I'll have a new little dongle for camera number 1 here, and this thing is going to get insanely crispy on camera 1, but right now camera 2, and I need to add you back in here. I just had to say that just because shit like that just gets me all so let's go to the comments here real fast. Jason from Ham Radio 2.0 is in the house. Simon from VK Land is in the house. Let's see. I saw some of the guys from the old country. There's Brian in the house. My son that never was. Garrett is as of yesterday or the day before, Saturday I think, is now a general. So he got his license like 2 weeks ago, and now he got his general. Garrett, congratulations. Thank you. let's see. Who else? Marty. I don't know if you ever met Marty. Marty was active in the club several years ago, Craig, and then he got busy with family life and everything else. But I think he wants to get back into ham radio. So Marty's in the house. Orson is in the house. Orson, how you doing, brother? Let's see. We got WB4. WB4OR ham radio. Craig's audio is off in the distance. So maybe you need to put that mic a little closer to you.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you just fine. You got a little bit of echo behind you, but hey.
Yeah, some resonance. Yeah, WB4 or BOR, that's Walt. He's my co-developer in a lot of this. So we got to give Walt the thumbs up. Thanks, Walt. WB4 BOR.
Ah, very cool.
Thanks, Walt.
Very cool. We got
now, guys.
Audio sounds better to me. But you know what? I have to break from this for just a second. And Simon, thank you very much for the super chat from Simon. So Simon, if you got anything that you want to get into the show, comments or anything, jump right in there. Guys, that actually, oh man, the super chat camera is now this crappy little camera way over here. Okay, we could deal with that. We could deal with it. So we'll go back to here. Nope, we got to go back to cameras. And that's beautiful. That brought me right back to us. Okay, guys, just a reminder, if you have a comment, because we don't see them all, and sometimes I'll go through and I'll look for things that will attract my attention. If you have a question or a comment that you really want on, hey, $1 super chat gets you to the front of the line. Those pop up on my screen as big colors. So if you've got a question for Craig, and I'm going to almost give him the mic here. Let's see. I've got a couple more questions for you. And then I'll turn it over to you, and I'll just let you run with it there, my friend. Let's see. Do I need the internet to use APRS?
So real quick, can you hear me better, Bob? I'm on a...
Oh, yeah.
I switched my setup here. Is that better?
Yes. Oh, much better. Much better.
Okay. Yeah. Walt, thanks. Yeah, my webcam was picking me up poorly over here. So now I think I'm on the headset. That should sound good.
Okay.
So the
nice.
question is, do you need the internet to use APRS? For the most part, APRS, the packet network that's global, is standalone, and it's backed by the internet. So the answer is a qualified no. You don't need the internet to use APRS. There's digipeaters all over all over your state probably, and they're in high locations, and you can send out a packet or a message or a position, and these digipeaters are going to pick you up and bounce your packet all over, well, in my case, Northern California. So yeah, I can send a message, usually from radios from here in like Sacramento, and send them down as far as maybe the Bay Area, Northern California, Redding, and with no internet whatsoever. Now, if the internet is up and available, I can send it to any radio in the world, and the system's smart enough to route the long path through the internet, and it'll pop up on RF at where the intended target is, or the intended radio is. So the answer to the question, do you need internet for APRS? You don't need it, but it helps.
Very, very cool. We got another super chat here. Gotta jump in there with the super chat from Orson. Orson, if you got a question, just jump on it. And guys, if you have a question with that super chat, go ahead and put it in there really quick, and we'll get you on the air just like right now. Back to Craig here. Let me see. Maybe. Nope. Back. There you go. There you go. Okay. Likewise, along with internet, do I need a cell phone or a hotspot? Do I need any of these things to make the APRS thing work?
Do you need a cell phone or a hotspot? You don't need one. What you really need is an APRS-enabled HT or mobile device. Now, I have built a hotspot that we're calling the DigiPi. It's a data transceiver. Like, you know, we have hotspots like Zoom Spot and Open Spot, and they're little Raspberry Pi-based things. In fact, I can show you one right here. And those are digital voice transceivers, so they'll do like, you know, DMR and digital voice transceivers. But what we built here is called the DigiPi. It's a digital data transceiver, and APRS is just one of the many digital modes that this thing will do. And you can hook it up to a radio like this. This is Yaesu 991. It's hooked up there, and this you can. And to answer the rest of your question, do you need a cell phone? You don't need one, but I have a cell phone right here, and it's basically remote controlling this DigiPi. And so here's all the APRS packets coming in on my phone. I can do stuff like send a beacon. Just camera. So this is the DigiPi hotspot right here.
We're not showing it. I'm not seeing any of that.
Let me click on this. How about now?
Oh, there you go. That's awesome. Okay.
All right. So this is the DigiPi hotspot. Remember, this is a data spot, so to speak, not for voice, but this is actually for data. So it's a data transceiver spot, and that's called the DigiPi, and that's software that I worked on with a few other people to build this thing. And to answer your question as far as the cell phone goes, yeah, the cell phone is actually connected to this spot over Bluetooth. I don't know if that's coming in very well, but I can do things like, you know, everything you can do on a radio. Like I can send my position. I don't know if it transmitted. I'm going to do it again. There it is. And this thing will transmit my position. And my radio just went nuts because I heard my packet. And it gets repeated, and I can do messaging and send text. You know, if I want to send text to another radio, excuse me, I can go into messages. And there's other radios I can send messages to. So, you know, for example, I want to send a message to this guy. In fact, I think I talked to this guy using the International Space Station as a repeater, using all of this hardware, everything you see right here on this data hotspot and this cell phone. So to answer your question, you don't need a hotspot, you don't need a cell phone, but if you've got a cool base station set up, maybe you want to build a DigiPi. This can become a digipeater. It can become a what we call a terminal node controller, or TNC, and then you can use your cell phone to operate the APRS packet stuff. Because honestly, you know, typing on your radio sucks, right? I know a lot of people turned off to APRS because, you know, typing on your radio, you know, trying to do everything I just did, sending messages and positions, you know, using a keyboard like that. And I understand it. In the field, it works. But if you have a cell phone and a digital data transceiver, like the DigiPi here, you can use your cell phone to do everything. And in fact, I take this as backpacking with me. Everything you just saw, cell phone, an HT as the just the radio, and then I plugged that Raspberry Pi thing into it. And then actually my wife could text her daughter. We were up in Desolation Wilderness, and because we had this DigiPi and her cell phone, she was able to text our daughter back and forth using the APRS network, bridge to the internet, of course.
Very, very cool. Got a question here. Let's switch off here. Xander Marks asks, can a not yet licensed person listen or look at APRS legally? And I guess I can actually answer this. The only thing you can't do as an unlicensed person is hit that PTT button, or in the case of APRS, the beacon, because you won't have a call sign, number one, and you got to have a call sign to use the APRS, but you can monitor it. Craig, am I wrong?
That's absolutely right. I don't think it's illegal to listen to anything except possibly cell phone bands. This is only in the United States and the FCC jurisdiction, which of course is a very small part of the world. But yeah, you can listen. In fact, a lot of people will get those little RTL SDR dongles and plug them into their computer, and you get a full band scope, and you can listen to almost any frequency. I don't think you get HF, but you can tune to 144.390. And a lot of times there will be an APRS FSK decoder in that software, and you can see the APRS packet stream on your computer without a radio, no transmitter, just an SDR receiver.
Nice.
Perfectly legit.
Let's see. So then, now the big question. Tell us about, oh man, I'm trying to get the switcher to work here, and it doesn't want to work. Tell us about your DigiPi project.
All right, can you hear me? I can see you. Can you hear me, Bob?
Yeah. Your audio's a little bit, I think you're on the webcam again.
All right, let me check. All right, how about now? My audio should be pretty good. Can you hear me?
It's not bad. Not bad at all.
No, you're right. I'm back on the webcam.
Yep.
My USB is crap. So if I ever unplug, I get shoved back to the next closest USB audio source. I should sound good now, right?
Sound fantastic now.
All right, I'm going to keep an eye on that. Yeah, these USB ports are done on this PC. So let's see the DigiPi project. So this is again that data transceiver. It's a data transceiver. It's like the ultimate modem for your amateur radio, and it does every digital mode you can think of. And I'm not exaggerating here. It really can do every digital mode. APRS is just one digital mode. This thing will do PSK31, Contessa. It'll even do CW. I mean, I don't know CW. I wish I did, but I don't. But this will actually do CW. Like the Zoom spot or like the Open spot, you don't need to know Linux. You don't need to know how Raspberry Pis work. It's all completely web-based. It's all web-driven. In fact, what I might do is go ahead and share my screen. What can you see?
You see me in the DigiPi.
I see you right now.
Let me switch it over. I'm learning your web camera interface. It's cool. All right, so the DigiPi is this Raspberry Pi right here. It's a Raspberry Pi Zero, and it's really these three components. So there's the Raspberry Pi Zero right here, then a little stacking header, and then we have an audio card for our radio. If we don't have a USB-based radio, we can plug this into our mobile rigs. And then there's a kind of a convenient little screen. So there's these three things stacked on top of each other, and that's what you're looking at right here. And that is the DigiPi. And right now it's an APRS digipeater mode. So it's my house is actually a digipeater for APRS, but it'll do all kinds of cool modes. In fact, let me share my screen. Just share a window here. So again, you don't need to have a Linux command line. Are you seeing a web browser there, Bob?
I did for just a second, and let me pull that up. Okay, there you go. Now you're on.
So all you need to operate this DigiPi, this digital data transceiver, is like your cell phone or a tablet or a computer, more specifically just or a web browser. And so the DigiPi, you have all these digital modes you can turn off and on. Like right now, I said it's an APRS digipeater, which we've been talking about. But I could turn this into a Linux node if I wanted to, and become part of the AX.25 network. Or maybe I wanted to become an email server and use WinLink. Or maybe I wanted to be just check my email, send and receive email over the AX.25 network here on VHF, or I could even go global and kick on the RDOT modem and go and check my email via any station in the world, really, as far as HF goes. The stuff we recently added to this is we can actually do FT8, slow scan television, and FL Digi, again, all in a web browser. There's no keyboard, there's no monitor for any of this. I can fire up any one of these data services and use them using like a Wi-Fi device, a cell phone, tablet, computer, over Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. So that's what the DigiPi is. It's a data transceiver. Think of it like it's the ultimate modem. So if we wanted to, I don't know, I know we want to stick to APRS a little bit today, but I'm going to put this over into digipeater mode. I just clicked on the AX.25, I'm sorry, put it into Linux node services, AX.25 node, and there's a little green light here. So now this is like a bulletin board on the radio network. So we're not doing APRS anymore. We're actually doing AX.25 networking, and it's now a node in the network for Northern California. And there's a bulletin board here that we can use. Let me go over to AX call over here, and I can connect to my own bulletin board. Hopefully this is sharing up okay and big enough.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to log in as my call sign.
Oh, hang on.
This is my
Hang
bulletin
on.
board.
I didn't want you to. I didn't want to give up any trade secrets there. Let me jump back
No, my
up.
password. I was half expecting that to be echo out.
Okay.
So this is the bulletin board. So anyone can connect to my bulletin board using AX.25 networking anywhere in Northern California, especially if they leverage digipeaters, which repeat packets, repeaters that are up on mountains. And I can do stuff like, and I can connect to another radio, connect either radio device, MPV, NOD. In fact, I got to switch it over to a AX.25 frequency. I'm currently on 145.730. Let's just see if we can connect to another radio. My power is kind of low. Let's see if it connects.
So
we're in node mode. Go ahead.
So a couple of questions while we're doing this. Let's see. God, I'm so confused. I don't even know what to ask, to be honest.
So go back to 1985, Bob. Remember connecting to bulletin board systems?
Right.
This is that. This is that totally reimagined using radio networks instead of modems and plain old telephone services. So instead of using a modem to connect to America Online or some bulletin board, we're using the RF spectrum as a physical layer to connect to other radios, and those have bulletin boards on them. And in fact, I'm connected to one on the other side of the valley on Mount Vacca. It's called MTV NOD. And I just asked it for a listing of other nodes that it has seen. And I'm connected to it using AX.25. It's a connected transport protocol, so that the packets are send and resend. If there's noise and a packet doesn't get through, it'll resend it. There's acknowledgements in the protocol stack. So this is AX.25, a packet radio. This is kind of like one step above APRS. So once you've mastered APRS, I would suggest you start looking into packet radio, specifically AX.25. And the DigiPi that I just showed you will do all of this. It'll not only do APRS, but it'll do all of this AX.25 network stack stuff. In fact, in my DigiPi, just to make it interesting, you remember the Infocom games like Zork and Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? They actually released the source code for those. They were just text adventure games, right? They were cool, but I actually compiled them and then put them into the DigiPi. So the bulletin board for a DigiPi actually has Zork and Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So if I type Zork, hopefully you can see this. Here we are, Zork, the Great Underground Empire. There's a small mailbox here, open mailbox, and anyone can do this over the radio. To my node. So here we are playing video games over AX.25, totally reimagining old games using, modern technology, to implement this using the DigiPi and just a web browser. Now, I don't want you guys to know a Linux command line or how Raspberry Pis work. I'm just going to say click. We're not going to play this over.
Wow, nice.
So that's just a quick shot of the DigiPi and all of the stuff it can do. So we just scratched the surface. This will do APRS, it'll do that AX.25 networking. I'm not even going to go into winlink and whatnot, but if you're into FT8, it'll do all of this stuff. And of course, it's available at Krager.org/DigiPi, Krager.org/DigiPi. Everything you need to purchase. We got a shopping list here, and Raspberry Pi Zero, they're cheap. They're like $10. You need a little audio board and that optional little screen.
That was my next question. I've got man, we got a ton of comments and questions coming in. Any questions? Can you put in caps? Somebody said that. Well, yeah. So. You could try that. If I catch it, I catch it. like I said, the best way, questions are super chats. Let's see. Somebody said, where can I buy? Simon says, where can I buy the DigiPi? So there's some stuff, and what I'll do is I will have Craig give me basically the shopping list, whether it's on Amazon or whatever, and I'll set it up so it'll be in the description on the playback. You'll be able to go on and pick everything up. And Craig, you have what? How do you get the software end of the DigiPi?
So the shopping list is on Kraiger.org/DigiPi, Kraiger.org/DigiPi. And it should be showing in this browser window. So the hardware list is there, the things you need to buy, the Pi, the audio hat, if you need one, and maybe that little monitor. And then the software is at the very top. Now, currently it's only available to patrons of KM6LYW radio, mostly because I want to keep the community small while we're doing heavy development. So if you just kick $1 into patreon.com/KM6LYW, I'll give you the password to get a copy of the SD card image for the DigiPi. And so again, it's at the software image is at the top of Kraiger.org/DigiPi. It looks like my audio phased out again on me too. I'm back on.
No, it's wonderful now.
Okay.
Man, you're booming in. Beautiful.
Cool.
Let's see. Looking through here. Spent our super chat money on ham radios. Okay, Marlon Thompson says he's broke. Spent his super chat money on ham radios and parts that I review. Okay, I get it. Let's see. Man, that looks you've got some very cool stuff on the website there. AJK says only hams RF. That is freaking awesome. I gotta start an only hams page. That'll be bitchin'. Let's see. All right. So as far as for us neophytes, how do us beginners start in APRS? Let's just start there.
Okay, let me stop sharing my screen. First thing you can do is buy an APRS
radio. I got to switch back to webcam here. Hang on.
No problem.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you well.
I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna unplug and plug into a different USB port. Hang on.
Okay. All right. So while Craig is doing that, only hams. Come visit my only hams page. Or I'll do ham radio porn for you. I don't know. Hey, what's for lunch today? Actually, there isn't much here for lunch. Man, the switcher is slow today. Very, very slow. Doesn't want to do anything. Yeah, I have the FT5 is here. It is set up for APRS right now. The problem here is there's no digipeater. No digipeater for APRS. So, or there's not one that is accessible from the house readily. So it kind of sucks. I don't know.
That's why you can build one, Bob.
That's why the DigiPi sounds so insane to me. Is that the fact that I could build my own digipeater. That would be very, very cool. And then
for next to nothing too.
Yeah, I mean, how cool is that?
So yeah, it's really just the hardware. The cost of the software is really open source, right? So I don't know. Maybe I could do an. You just asked me, how can we get into APRS? So first of all, you just want to be a user of APRS. Maybe you don't want to implement an iGate or a TNC or a digipeater. I mean, it sounds like you're at the digipeater stage. There's no hope for you. There's no turning back. But if you just get an APRS enabled HT, there's just so much you can do. There's so much infrastructure out there. Make sure I'm on my. It looks like my headset's still my primary audio source. So hopefully you can see my HT. This is just a Yaesu FT1. Can you see that, Bob?
I can.
All right, let's do something practical, okay? With APRS. Now, anyone can send a position packet. So I can press F here and send a position packet. And I need to be on 144.390 on the digipeater. I was still on the X.25 network. Let me do that again, guys. There's live television here. All right, the packet, there I am. There's my packet that just came back. I'm right next to myself. I'm KM6LYW. So I just sent my position to APRS.FI, which is a map. I don't know if I can share my screen. I don't know. You guys probably know how position porting works. But you need to send your position in now and then so the system knows where you are. It's kind of like logging into the network. From there, every APRS radio has a messaging interface. So for example, let's say I want to send an SMS text message to a cell phone. Well, I just send the message to a station called SMSGTE. Now that's not a real radio, it's a virtual radio, a lot like the DigiPi is. And it just listens for requests. And this is actually in Toronto, and you can send it from anywhere on the APRS network. So I'm going to send a message to APRS SMSGTE, and I'm going to put the @ right here in the beginning. And then I am going to type a phone number, which is already there. And I'm just going to say test SMS over RF. And I'm going to send this message to station SMSGTE. There it goes. And if we watch my cell phone, it should light up. Look at that. We just got a message called test SMS over RF. So I just sent an SMS message using amateur radio, nothing more than my amateur radio in the APRS network, and I sent an SMS message. That's practical.
That is so cool. That is way, way cool.
What's even better is I can send it back, Bob. I can actually, let's see, where's my, I don't know if you guys can see this. So there's my text message that I just sent myself. There's 0 chance this is going to focus. There it is. All right, let's send it. Let's reply. TEST reply. And I'm just going to hit that. And then we got to watch the radio over here. And there it is. Test reply is back.
Wow.
On my radio. Boy, that's
bi-directional texting from your ham radio.
Why not, man?
I'll tell you what.
This is a global network.
Man, you get the word out about this, and AT&T and Verizon are going to put a stop to that.
You know what? AT&T Verizon puts a stop to everything here in California, Bob, with our rolling blackouts, our wildfires. For me, this is it.
That is
internet
very
here when they turn the power off here in California. So this is how I keep in touch with my wife using an amateur radio.
Wow.
When the power goes out at the house, no internet, no cell phone. I don't even have a SIM card in this phone, because I spend most of my time at home. There's no SIM card in this cell phone. It's just a Wi-Fi phone. But I just use amateur radio when I'm off network.
That's so cool. That is so cool. Let's see. I have here a super chat from Chris, and there it is. Chris Townsend for ham radio. Bob stream last dollars left after a recent 2A toy build. Good day, Bob, from the Treasure Valley. K7 SVX. Chris, thank you very much for the super chat, and hello to all the guys there listening or watching in the Treasure Valley. And let's see if I can't get this back to camera, whatever. Let's see, let's take a few more comments here. Leftover smoke. Nathan, KG7 ORH. Leftover smoke pulled pork with some blue cheese melted over the top is lunch today. Ooh, that just gets me. That gets me right there. Let's see. Back to camera one, and let's see. Marlon Thompson says he made an account on Google's APRS FI, and you could see all the APRS data around you and around the world. Yes, that's one of the very cool things about APRS is you don't even have to be connected to APRS or ham radio to be able to track somebody. So my Mrs. K6UDA, for instance, if I'm on a motorcycle ride and say I'm going, I don't know, going up to Canada, Mrs. K6UDA can get on APRS.fi, plug my call sign in, and basically follow me up, just as if she was looking at me on a mapping system. Let's see, and we'll go back to Craig here in a second. Maybe, or maybe not.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Yeah, I'm showing up now.
You're there. There you are.
Hey, I got one other practical purpose for this. In fact, this is brand new.
Okay.
So WB4BOR is on live here today. WB4BOR. He put together a plugin for our APRS daemon software that we wrote, where you can actually make one of these autoresponders. We call it repeat. So here's another stupid APRS trick. So if you send, if you want to know what the closest two repeaters are, voice repeaters are to your location, let's say you're on a trip. Let's say, Bob, you're driving from Sacramento to Boise, and you're in Nevada, and you have no idea what the voice repeaters are, but APRS generally works everywhere. I want you to use your APRS-enabled radio, like this one, and send a message that says N space 2, and that will give you the nearest two voice repeaters for your location. And I want you to send that message to a call sign called repeat, REPEAT. That should be, you see that on the radio here. So I'm going to send it right now, and we're going to get the two closest voice repeaters to my location. Let's see if they can come in. We got one, W6YDD, W6SAR. We've got the frequency, offset, range, and direction of the two closest repeaters, voice repeaters, to my location. And it knows my location because every APRS radio has a built-in GPS. And we sent that position beacon, so it knows where we are. So this is a brand new service, a brand new APRS service. It just went up last week. WB4BOR wrote the plugin for this, for APRSD. So you can find voice repeaters no matter where you are if you have an APRS-enabled radio.
That is so cool. Very, very cool. And I know that part right there is going to get a lot of replay in there. So if the APRS radios have GPSs in them, they're using GPS, how is APRS different from, say, my Garmin Spot or even my Garmin GPS?
So the Garmin Spot, the way I understand it, it uses the old Iridium network. And honestly, to answer your question, they're not wildly different. The biggest difference is the price and the convenience. So the Garmin Spot stuff will talk to satellites using very different frequencies, but a very similar protocol. And you can send very short messages to cell phones using the Garmin Spot, just like you can with APRS. You can also upload your position to a map using the Garmin devices, just like you can with APRS. So it's just a different physical implementation of doing a lot of the same stuff. and it has a price tag to go with it.
Yes. Yes, it does. Camera 3 does not want to come up. Come on, camera 3. Work. I don't know why everything is so slow today. It is all this switching software here is painfully slow. I do want you guys to see up here, right there, my old K6 UDA license plate. I have to renew this year. This year, I have been a ham for 10 years, so I get to do my first renewal. And right after I renew, I'm actually going to try to get myself ham plates here in the great state of Idaho, here at the Southern Idaho Command. Let's see. Oh, there you are. You're back now. So let me pull back to camera 2 and get you. Actually, I'm going to put you over here. And man, that is so cool. That stuff is just so cool. What's for lunch over in California, in the People's Republic?
Well, I know people are watching me, so it's literally like grapes and almonds. I'm trying to cut the salt, Bob, so I'm eating simple and light.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I'm Mama made big thing of bacon and eggs and everything for breakfast, so I'm kind of trying to go lunch light today. But very, very cool. Let's see, what else is going on? What's going on in ham radio in California? What's going on with the PG&E power shutoffs and all that good stuff? Is that affecting ham radio?
Not yet. We finally got some rain. It hasn't really rained here since May. You know how it is here. It'll go months without rain. So when everything's not on fire, it's actually pretty nice here. No, we haven't had rolling blackouts at all. Some areas do. It's not like it was back when you were here. So it's been a little more stable. We're not a third world nation anymore. We're kind of more of a second world nation when it comes to rolling blackouts. So it's an incremental improvement. So we'll take it. But it was kind of fun when all the power was out. There's no internet. It's actually kind of nice. All there was ham radio. And when the power's out everywhere, it's quiet. I mean, I'm not just, there's not just, people, not, cars and things. I mean, it's RF quiet, and you can get on HF, and the noise floors just drop to nothing. So it was kind of fun to have blackouts.
I tell you, that was the best thing about a blackout was the fact that my noise floor dropped to like S2, S3, because there would be generators running in the neighborhood. And some of those generators are a little dirty, but whatever. Let's see. Let's grab a couple of these comments that are coming in here. Lots of comments. 41 people on the stream. Currently 30 thumbs up. Can we make that 40 real quick? Only you guys can do that. I don't know why. I don't know why there isn't as many thumbs up as there is. The other thing, Wires X is up. Let me switch over here to camera 1. The Wires X side is up. Maybe. Come on. Here we go. There you go. Yes. If you want to call in on Wires X, just say hi. That would be very cool. There's all the stuff right. Man, let's see. If I push it right there, you could see. And we do have room if anybody from the old country or anybody else wants to jump in as a guest, both the guest link is right there on the right side of the screen. It is also in the description below. You could click on it and call in like right now. Back to, wow, this is so slow. This is crazy slow. Yep. I think it's about time for a new, wow, look at that. 49 people, 51 thumbs up. Thank you guys. You guys are the best. Man, I ask, you guys do. I love it. Let's see. Let's see. Sean, AI7EQ says, will repeat work from APRS software such as APRS IS32?
All right, so APRS IS32 is a Windows client, I believe, for the APRS information service. So yeah, if you can send and receive messages using that software, APRS messages, address them to the station called repeat, and make sure your message contains the contents of N space like 3. So N's 3, and that it will respond with the closest 3 voice repeaters to your location. Yes, it should work with any APRS client software. You don't necessarily need a radio.
Outstanding. Let's see. Gave me a tripod mount. Just trying to look for some cool. Let's see. Marlon's having chicken and sausage gumbo. They're in Louisiana. Man, that sounds really, really good right now. Gotta say that. And guys, why do we talk about food here on this ham radio show? Because this is lunch and ham radio. Let's see, man, we're coming up at the top of the hour, and anything else? Anything you want to talk about, Craig? I mean, any subjects you got?
Well, we don't have another hour for me to go on about the subject I want to talk about, but I am interested in what our viewers want to see and hear here. I do have a station, KM6LYW radio, if you want to learn more about digital modes, data modes, anything that isn't voice. So if you want to build a DigiPi, a KM6LYW radio on YouTube, and we'd love to hear from you over there. Thanks, Bob.
Yeah, no, dude, it's so cool to have you on and talking about this. You know, last week I had on oh my God, James Hannibal from Quirky QRP. Man, it's that old.
From K2 CSX.
Okay, and K2 CSX says hi there on Wires X. I just love all this. It's all connected. But anyway, we were talking about this broader subject of how do we get more people? How do we get more people? And KS2CSX in New York, I do copy you. But we're gonna keep it going over here. But thanks for the hi. We were talking about how do we use more of the bandwidth that we have? How do we effectively use it? And how do we involve more hams in doing stuff just like this? This is exactly what we need to be doing. Is getting smart guys like you, entrepreneurial guys like you, building things, designing things, and getting guys, the dumb guys like me, on the air using stuff like this.
You're doing a great job. You keep up the great work you do.
Hey,
Right on.
thank you. That's freaking awesome. That is awesome.
You know,
So-
Bob, it's not the old dumb people like us. It's the kids, right? We have to compete with cell phones, and they have short attention spans. I know I do. So we have to do better than a cell phone, Bob, when it comes to data modes. Like I said, most people do text messaging, email, SMS, and maybe checking the weather. Yeah, we can do all of that on the radio. But we need to compete with the cell phones, I think, and get to capture the younger generation, get them into data modes. How many kids do you know actually pick up a phone and make a conversation? They're not going to pick up an HT and do that. So I think to attract more people to the hobby, let's look at an emphasis on the data mode so we can do messages, texting back and forth. Maybe we use the internet as a back end, maybe we don't. But I think we need to really embrace data modes, just like the telephone industry has kind of switched over to data modes. We need to do that more in ham radio. And there's a lot of cool people, Linux, Raspberry Pi people building these types of projects out there, creating services. So there's a global network out there called APRS that we can use, an AX.25 network, just waiting for us to leverage.
Yeah, definitely. And let's see if we can switch. There we go. God, this is painful. This is the switching system, and I don't know what it is. It must be this. Well, I'll go to camera 3 here. Or I'll go to my look down. So we've been having issues since I restarted the live stream several weeks ago. Lots of issues with audio, with my audio being down. So I bought this little mixing board, little USB mixing board, and I thought, well, I don't need much. So I tried this. This thing is a piece of junk for 70, 80 bucks. It's junk. I've got another one coming. Should be better. I'm hoping it'll be better. And hopefully it'll be here by next week. So I'm not screwing around with this. But anyway, that is like one of the big things that I would love to promote with this show. And guys, let me switch over to camera 1 here, and maybe camera 1 will start up in just a minute. There we go. I got to get on my my little soapbox for just a minute. What I'm doing, in case some of you guys can't stick around for the entire show on lunch, or you don't want to, and I know a lot of guys, you short attention span theater. I get it too, but so what I'm trying to do is break some of these little subjects out into small little shorts that I call K6UDA live bits, and I'll put them up as videos, standalone videos, so you could go back in. You can look at these different little kind of mini subjects within the live show, within the bigger live show. And I know we are coming up here on the 1 o'clock hour here, the 1300 hour. We'll take a few more. Let's take a few more comments. Let me add Craig here. Switch me over to camera 2, and then add Craig. There we go. Now we're good. We're cooking. Let's see. Smash the like. Yep, from Steve. Smash that like, and I thank you guys. 44 guys on the stream right now, and 56 total thumbs up. Bob, we need to come. Bob needs to come to Louisiana so we can show you some good groceries taste like. Get him hooked on Bowden, cracklins, jambalaya, and gumbo. Yeah, I'm all about that because I love to eat. I love eating probably more than I love ham radio. Let's see. What's the best way, from Corey, what's the best way to study for the test? The best way that I can see, and let me, we'll go to here. The best way that I could see to study for the test is to go on to something like hamstudy.org, or there's some apps that you could get for your iPhone or your Android. And I differ with the guys that say you need to learn everything, you need to learn all the theory. There's plenty of time to learn all the theory in the next 10 years until you have to renew your license, because I'm still learning the theory. To get yourself invested in this hobby, get your license now. And to do that, study the question pool and just the right answer. There's tons of apps and tons of programs out there that subscribe to that. All you want to do is get through the test. After you get through the test, then you'll start learning about ham radio. Craig, what about you? Oh,
I'm cool.
There you go.
So I'm going to have to go with hamstudy.org. So not only did it get me through technician through extra, all 3 tests, no problems, almost 100%. I know we don't share scores, but it was that good. Hamstudy.org. In fact, my XYL is now KN6JYI, and she also has her technician license through hamstudy.org. So not only does it have just an awesome flashcard learning thing, it also has, there's a link where you can sign up for like online, ever since COVID, now we have to sign up online to do, virtual exams. And my wife did one of those. It was fantastic. So hamstudy.org, start to finish, technician to extra, 2 thumbs up.
Yep, I agree. Let's see. Dennis Schultz asks, why not allow it to run on a Pi 3 or Pi 4 we all have after failed Raspberry projects?
Constantly getting this question. I wish I had a better answer for this. So the Pi 3 and the Pi 4 use a lot of power, and I take this backpacking. That was a requirement. This DigiPi draws as little as 100 milliamps. The Pi 3 and Pi 4 not so much. Additionally, the Pi 3 and Pi 4 are really designed for desktop usage. You want a full-blown desktop, file manager, web browser. The Raspberry Pi Zero can't really do all of that, and a lot of people dismiss it as a result. But what Raspberry Pi can do is run something like Direwolf or an APRS service or a winlink service. It can do those things very well, and it's only $10. I mean, when was the last time you saw a single board computer for $10? I mean, I was actually just looking into buying a Pi 3 or Pi 4 for some other projects, and they're just not available. Or if they are, they're too expensive. So the Raspberry Pi Zero is just enough computer to do these amateur radio services one at a time. It's not good enough for a desktop, but that's not what we want here. The DigiPi here is for use with the tablet computer or your cell phone or another computer. We don't need all of the services that the bigger brothers can provide. Good question. We get that one a lot.
I know. That's a great question. Let's see. No nonsense. So Chris Townsend says, no nonsense study guides are great for the ticket. Let's see. Oh man, look at this. From Israel, 4X 6F Bravo. How nice. Aaron, thank you for stopping by here. That is just bitching. And I see my face looks red again, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's me, because it doesn't look red on my monitor, but it looks red on the TV. Let's see. WB4OR. Dennis, we are looking at building a Digi Pi based on a Raspberry 3 as well. So there's your buddy saying, I guess you guys are looking at doing that.
Hey, I'm reading the chat here. So I wish Walt was on here. We should have Walt here, WB4BOR, be a special guest star.
Well, if he wants to jump in, he can.
Is that right?
He absolutely can. I
I
know
can't even get my microphone to work.
I know we're just over the hour. It's
I won't put him on the spot. I won't put Walt on the spot. It's okay.
Okay.
I'll have to coax him into being a guest star, but I'm trying to figure out what the question is here for Walt. Looks like someone's asking Walt if we can do this on an FT with an FT5D. Is that right? DR?
You might be further down the list than I am.
All right.
Let's see. I hate this dead air. Oh my lord. Let's see.
Everybody's reading and eating.
Yes. Craig, how can the DigiPi integrate with the ARDEN mesh? This is from KB9MTD.
So what a great question. I don't have a good answer. So the ARDEN mesh network uses old like Linksys routers, and amateur radio bands actually come into a portion of the link of what Wi-Fi uses. I think it's the lower two channels. So people are like modifying these Linksys routers for ham radio usage, and they got this mesh network, and they're calling it ARDEN. To answer your question, I don't know how the Raspberry Pi could link to that. I don't know what network protocols ARDEN is using. I don't know if it's AX.25 or not, which is kind of the amateur radio standard for networking. I would guess it's using something a little more complicated in the transport layer, but no, ARDEN network, I don't know. That's a good question. I have an old Linksys router here that I've been saving, but I live out in the middle of nowhere, and the 2.4 gigahertz band, which we're entitled to, it doesn't go very far, so I don't think I could reach the valley from here. But no, I don't know how we could work it into the ARDEN mesh network. Cool, good question.
Okay. Let's see. Now here, this might be the one you were talking about. From Sean, ham radio, so I can get it to work with my FT5, not on APRS IS32. I will test it more and see if I could find what is causing the problem. I don't. That must be part of another conversation that we're not.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're approached a lot. Walt and I are for the APRS-D backend service, which is open source software, so you can build these APRS services. And then a lot of people ask about, well, how do I use the repeat service? How do I use APRS backends in general? So so it sounds like Walt's fielding that question, and if Walt can't answer it, then it cannot be answered.
Fair enough.
Straight up.
Fair enough. Chris Townsend says, I need a name brand for audio video streaming. Yes. I think my my issue is that mixing board, because I've never had this issue before, and I've got some warnings here in Ecamm, because I use, as you guys might know, I use Ecamm here on the Mac system. This is all Mac based. I am getting and what is it? Oh man, I forget. I got a good professional audio mixing thing coming, so I'll be able to use my XLR mics hopefully by next week. This week I'm kind of stuck doing this. I'm using the Rode right now. This is maybe, come on. It's just so. Okay, I'm using my my Rode Wireless Go plugged in to this little USB mixing board, which is just garbage. This thing is absolute garbage. The only thing that I do like about this is, and let me switch back to camera 2 here, is I could
come in here and now change my voice, and I could sound like God. Do I sound like God, Craig?
Yeah, it scared me. You were doing that when we were in the green room. I just couldn't figure out what was going on.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's really the only benefit I see to this whole board. Don't buy one. They're garbage. I got it on Amazon. It came with this crappy little microphone. This microphone came with it, and it is so poor. It is such a bad mic. It's an XLR mic, and you would expect an XLR mic to be halfway decent, but it is garbage. Just absolute garbage. Let's see, we are 12 minutes.
Oh my God, I had to look behind my desk to make sure you wasn't.
K2 CSX out of New York on the box there, on the FTM 400 on Wires X and in the Wires X room there. Let's see. We are 13 minutes past. I'm gonna put Craig up here real quick on the right. And Craig, do you have anything else? Because I it's supposed to be a lunch hour, not a lunch hour and 15 minutes or whatever.
This is a government lunch hour is what you call this.
It's a government lunch hour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
More than an hour. Hey, on the mixing boards, I got this one. I can't vouch for it just yet, but Alesis is making this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a USB-based mixing board, and it has the XLR inputs. So I'm just trying that out. I can't vouch for it just yet.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of researching. I didn't want to spend $600 for the Rodecaster, which is like, I guess the granddaddy, the best one for this kind of a setup. Trying to set it up basically for podcasting, because this is pretty much podcasting. And so you know what, I might end up having to spring for it eventually. I know that this thing here is garbage. Garbage. There's a better shot of it, but it is junk. Let's see. Craig, I want to thank you for being here and spending your valuable time away from all this good stuff. Please send me a quick email with the links to all the equipment here and how to get it. I will put it up in the show notes after the show, so all these guys that are coming in and looking to do something like this. Actually, you know what? Take me through very, very quickly. What is how do you do FT8 with the DigiPi? Because really, I mean, I use WSJTX on either the Mac or a Windows machine, and I hook it up to the radio, and it does FT8, and that's really how does the DigiPi revolutionize, or what does it do differently?
Yeah, great question. So the DigiPi doesn't have a monitor or keyboard, so or a mouse or anything. So how in the world would you do FT8, right?
Yeah.
Make sure I'm on the right microphone here. So I don't know. Am I sharing stuff? Can I share my screen?
Yes, absolutely. I'll move it over as soon as you pull that up, because right now that's what I'm seeing is
I click on share screen, click on a window. I know we want to do this real quick. Am I sharing anything?
coming back to, let's see.
Share
Nope, that's
screen.
you.
Yeah, it doesn't want to let me share.
Okay. It did before.
I know, we were totally doing it. Let me, maybe I'm doing this,
It was
wrong here.
fine
Hang on.
before. Man, that's just.
How about now?
Oh, yeah, there it is. Let me put you up solo there. Okay. So tell us how FT8 can work on the DigiPi.
So let's say you've got your DigiPi completely built and you want to do FT8 and you're in the field, you've only got your phone or a tablet or something. It becomes its own hotspot. So once you've got it built, you set it, you connect to it. It's called the DigiPi hotspot. And then there is a web-driven menu. You go out to DigiPi / that's all you need. Then you can click on WS JTX FT8 right here. It's a service and it turns on. And you come down here and you click on FT8. And the FT8 app will actually open in your web browser and look exactly like this. In your web browser on your phone or tablet or computer, and you can just start operating FT8. There's a virtual display inside the DigiPi, and you can see it through your web browser.
And that's
FT8.
just because it's hooked up on Bluetooth or Wi-Fi or what?
Either one. So we can use Bluetooth for APRS or Wi-Fi, but in this case we're using Wi-Fi. This could be a phone or your tablet. In this case, it's just a web browser on my computer. And I just click on FT8 from the main menu on DigiPi, and because you just point your web browser at the DigiPi, and then you just do everything from there, including FT8. That goes for
so
running
cool.
FL Digi if you want to do CW or PSK31. Here's a shot of it running on a tablet. So you notice it's my phone this is actually running on. And there's me doing CW. What's cool about this is when you're in CW mode using FL Digi on the DigiPi, they think you're just an awesome keyer because it's perfect. You can set the rate, speed, everything. It just sounds killer. And it's modulated CW, but they don't know necessarily. But yeah, this is me not knowing CW talking to someone on CW.
That is so cool.
Same thing for FT8, same thing for slow scan television. You can send images using the DigiPi, using the exact same idea that I just told you guys.
So you could do this on 2 meters, 440. You can do it anywhere, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I've got the Yaesu 991 here, which is an all-band radio, well, most band radio. It'll do VHF and HF, so it's totally cool.
That is insane. You know what?
So, yeah.
I'm going to have you back on, and we'll have to go through more of this specific type of how to put it together, how to make it all work.
It's been a lot of effort, but a lot of it is documented on Kreger.org/DigiPi. Everything you need to know. I've got a couple of build videos, got software installation videos, but I'm trying to make digital modes easy for everyone. They don't have to be that hard. You just build a DigiPi, point a web browser at it, and just rock any mode you want.
That is so cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, you know what? We are definitely going to hook up again here very soon, and I'll have you back on. We'll dive into that super deep dive on another lunch and ham radio. But we're 20 minutes past the hour, so government lunch. Craig, again, thank you so much for being on the show. Loved having you. Again, let's see, Craig's where is it? Craig's YouTube channel maybe will come up here. It was up. It actually was here. And there it is. So Yeah, all these little numbers up here in the address bar. That's Craig's KM6LYW radio currently has 500 subscribers. Guys, let's get him past 1,000 subscribers and take a look at some of this stuff. This stuff is very, very cool. And yeah, I'm gonna put you back in the green room here for a minute. I'm gonna do my getting out of here deal, and maybe, just maybe, it'll work. Come on. Oh my God, this is so painfully slow. Split screen. There it is. That's the one I need. Come on. There we go. Holy crap. The switcher is not happy. My Mr. Snurdly is not a happy camper. Anyway, guys, like I said before, number one, if you're watching this on playback and you like the video, please give it the thumbs up. If you haven't already hit the subscribe over here, please hit the subscribe here. Please leave a comment, because comments are, they are working. Your comments, your interaction here on the channel, it is making a huge difference. And the word is getting out to more and more hams across the world, across the country. I mean, as evidenced by VK Land, Israel, the Netherlands, all here for lunch and ham radio. That is very, very cool, my friends. And be sure and go to KM6LYW radio on YouTube. Give him a subscribe and give him some like and some love on YouTube there. Like I said, guys, again, I am doing some little breakouts, so expect little breakouts of some of these things coming along in the next day or so. That'll fill up. And then my regular videos usually on Fridays. Winterizing this last week, I kind of missed it, but I've got a good one that I'm working on right now. Anyway, my friends, that is it for me. I'm Bob, K6UDA, and I'm out of here. 7-3. And I got to figure out how to get out of here. I got to get out now. Holy crap.
We're trapped, Bob.
We are trapped. I have to hit the finish.